Mother, what you say to them? They're trying to come see you in the Uber.
I just said, what? A who? Or you can call it. Me call it. Negro, you won't get to see me if you waiting on me to call it. You won't get to see me. If I got to call you an Uber, you ain't going to see me if I got to come pick you up in one of mine.
So the little nasty men done started already.
They already done started.
Your mourning period wasn't even over. And they
never over.
They trying to get to the crib. Hey everybody, it's Dr. Bree, and welcome to the After Dark Show. This is going to be the show that you all have been absolutely waiting for. You were excited about part one, and many of you have been calling in and asking, when is part two? We tried to have, we were hit with a blizzard, but y'all, she's back in the house tonight. It's going to be all the way raw. You've not seen raw on the After Dark Show like you're going to see it tonight. Mother Ellen Allen, who is the widow of the legend himself, Bishop Rancher Allen, is back with us tonight, y'all. We're going to be taking your questions. We're going to talk about stuff that you all have been asking, and this is an exclusive. Now, there are people who try to take our exclusive and play it like it was theirs, but this is the second exclusive interview with Mother Ellen Allen. Throughout the night, her Cash App is going to be on the screen, because what I want you to do is something I've never done on the After Dark Show. I want you all to sow into her life. Nothing's coming to the After Dark Show. Nothing's coming to Dr. Bree. I want it to go directly to Mother Ellen Marie Allen, her whole government name. We'll be right back after this commercial. We're going to have our guest for tonight, Mother Ellen Marie Allen. Don't you go nowhere. Invite your friends. After Dark Show is on with Dr. Bree. Everybody, it is so exciting to talk about prayer.
Yes.
Prayer is the heart's sincere desire, unuttered and unexpressed. The Bible talks about the fact that men should always pray. And y'all, I'm so excited about our new prayer season. You see who I'm sitting with? It's our prayer ambassador, Elder Sheila Roberts, who is the prayer warrior herself, been praying for generations and curses and to be broken and people to be blessed. Y'all, we're excited about this new season of When Men Pray, but she's also going to be launching
When Women Pray.
Wow, When Women and Men Pray. The families get ready to come together. Elder Roberts, are you excited about When Women Pray?
Yes, I am. I'm so excited. I'm excited about just touching our voices, coming together and us touching and agreeing in prayer about the things, the cares of women's hearts, you know, our loved ones, our family, jobs, everything women has a heart for. We're going to be lifting those things up and praying before God and believing. And I'm telling you, saints of God, when women come together and we touch and agree and we're on one accord, there's an explosion of power that's getting ready to be released in the earth realm. We're getting ready to see lives change.
And when women pray and men praying at the same time, something is going to shake the universe. She's going to be joined by phenomenal prayer warriors across the country.
Yes.
Pastor Karen Doan, Sister Wyoming Bill, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Pastor Kim Sadler from Lake Jackson, Texas.
Yes.
Lady Michelle Sharp from Detroit, Michigan, and several leaders around the length and breadth of our country. Joanne Thompson of Indianapolis, Indiana, and so many others are going to be joining. Pastor Christine Chavis. It's going to be just phenomenal. The women that are coming together, and of course those that are right here in our church. Vanita Moore and Ora Eaton and Judy Tillman and Mother Potter and all the other prayer warriors in our ministry that are going to be coming together, these ministers of the gospel. And of course, we're going to have some women who are going to be praying who are not ministers, but they're going to be on that line. There's some powerful women in our church and around our country, and I'm so excited. It is When Men Pray and
When Women Pray.
It's going to be the third Sunday night in January at 8 o'clock p.m. The conference numbers for both calls are going to be on the screen. So, hey, if you're in the home with a man, he goes in one room and you pray. Or if you're in the home with a woman, she goes in another room. We're going to be having a wonderful time. When men pray and when
women pray.
It's going to be powerful. The third Sunday night in January at 8 p.m. When men pray and when
women pray.
It's going to be exciting. We'll see you there when men and women.
You're watching After Dark with Dr. Bree.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the After Dark Show. Tonight I'm with my guest, Mother Ellen Marie Allen. As you can hear, we're listening to one of the jams of Bishop Rance Lee Allen. Mother Allen, when you hear the songs of Bishop, you just said while we were on break, it's hard to believe that he is gone. He is gone way far too soon, had so much left in him. How do you feel when you hear those songs, especially the ones that just really hit and everybody knew about? Tell us about that.
How do I feel? Like I said, it's hard to believe that he's gone. His songs, to me, Rance was so far ahead of his time. To me, his music is timeless. Certain songs play an important part of my life, like that one, I Belong to You. He wrote that to the Lord, but yet he sang it to me.
Wow.
And on my 25th wedding anniversary, as I was coming in, he was singing that song.
Wow.
So that one has a special place in my heart.
Wow. And so it's been now some time since the bishop has been gone. It's just a little over 3 months. It's still fresh to you because after being married for 50 years. And tonight I really want to get to know you. I really want to know what it was really like to be married to him. And we got people who have been asking, like, what was it really like to be married to the bishop? Because you said all these wonderful things about him and how he was your king and how you were his queen. And there's some people, you know, who are watching and they're like, no, they couldn't have been that great. What is she holding back? What is she not telling? And I was determined that tonight on this show, that was going to be the first question that we ask you is, are you telling the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? That it was because they don't believe you. They don't believe it's that fairy tale-ish, that it was just that wonderful. What is she not telling? What are the dark secrets of their life? Because you've heard it as well, that people have wondered whether or not it was really that good. What do you have to say for yourself tonight to all of them who say it couldn't have been that great?
It was that great. It was that great. I don't regret not a minute, not a second of being married to the man I was married to. And as I said at the homegoing service, it was an orchestration of God. It really was. God orchestrated our getting together.
Wow.
And he was a very, as you say, humble. People say humble. He was a very humble, mild-mannered man. He didn't like fussing. He didn't like arguing. There was never going to be no fighting. And, you know, like I said, he never raised his hand to me, never called me out my name. He was just I won't say that he was perfect, no, but a wonderful person to live with.
Right.
For all those many years.
And during those wonderful years, there were a lot of growing years as well.
Yes.
There was a lot of growing pains.
Yes.
It just didn't gel overnight.
No.
There were times when I'm sure that both of you felt like, is this we gonna last, or we gonna make it through? Like many marriages go through those periods, like, all right, this was a trying moment, a trying season. Do you remember if there were many trying seasons in your marriage, or did you just kind of get through it?
There was a lot of adjustments that we had to make because Rance was 22 when we got married, and he was still at home with his grandmother, and his grandmother pretty much, you know, orchestrated his ministry, his going, his coming, his singing. And when I married him, it was an adjustment between her and I. And then, you know, by me being the wife, now the loyalty has to shift a little bit. So there were some issues there, but other than that, we had to work out financial stuff like most marriages do. You know, learn who can control the money, who's the better one to manage it, and once we learned some of those things, we pretty much managed everything pretty well.
So you were able to get through those early stages, and you got through them with minimal damage.
Minimal, very minimal.
You were able to still, because you loved each other. You were young. You were 16.
16.
And he was 22. Your parents gave the consent for him to be your husband, and you all moved in, and you lived in the house
with his grandmother.
And you slept in a bed just a little larger than a twin bed.
Right.
And how long did that last in that twin bed?
I think we might have, let's see, that was December. I think probably about the middle of the next year, we moved out and got our own place. And it was rolling after then.
The rest was history.
Yeah.
So the last time you were on our show, we had some fun towards the end. A lot of people didn't see the end of our show,
right?
Because they went off, because we went off, and then we kept dialoguing.
Yes.
And they kept the cameras rolling.
Yes.
So they got a chance to see, those who stayed on got a chance to see the behind the scenes.
Right.
Many of you missed the behind the scenes, and this is where we're going to jump off tonight with the behind the scenes with Mother Ellen Allen, because you know so much about the Bishop Rance Lee Allen, but we want to know about Mother. We want to know about Rance, the person. We know the Bishop. The world knows him.
The singer.
We want to know who he is. You know, we want to. We've seen the singer. We've sang all his songs. We try to do it and mimic him and do it with all of the y'all know all that. But we can't do that. We tried it. One day I tried it and didn't work. But how many of you all want to see that clip from the last show that we had when Mother just came out? And then I need to ask you some questions about some of the things that we did or we talked about in the last show, because I need to bring some clarity on our conversation. They're going to put on the screen in a minute how you can sow, and I want y'all to listen to me, into the life of Mother Ellen Marie Allen. And I want you all to do it tonight. I really do want you to do it. Let's give her like an early birthday. Her birthday is not until July 15th, which is 15 days before mine. And we're going to do something for her birthday in July as well. I ain't telling about it yet. I'm just going to plan it, and I'm going to do it, because the last show, I told y'all I'm her bishop. And so I know they got mad at me a little bit, and some of your Kojic brethren, you know, but I'm saying it again, I'm her bishop. And so we will be doing something for her. I said it again. That's right. I'm her bishop. Let's pause there for a moment and see what they got to say. I didn't think they had nothing to say. They won't say nothing. They'll say it about me, but they won't say it to me. They won't put it even. They won't put it on. How many of y'all want to see the clip from last time when Mother just kind of took us there and told us about the Uber guy? Y'all got to hear about the Uber guy. Some joker was trying to holler at Mother to catch an Uber to the crib, to Mother's. And then the joker wanted Mother to pay for the Uber. Y'all watch this. We'll be right back. Mother, what'd you say to him? They're trying to come see you in the Uber.
I just said, what? A who? Or you can call it. Me call it. Negro, you won't get to see me if you waiting on me to call it. You won't get to see me. If I gotta call you an Uber, you ain't gonna see me if I gotta come pick you up in one of mine.
So the little nasty men done started already.
They already done started.
Your mourning period wasn't even over, and they
never over.
They trying to get to the crib. They want to come.
All of the fakers, all of the hackers, all of the imposters, all of them Africans done pull people's pictures up, making like they somebody they not. I done discerned all of them. They done got mad with me, told me I got what they say. insecurity issues and all of that. Because I asked you a question.
Right.
But you can ask me a question.
But you can't ask them.
I can't ask them no question.
Wow. So they gonna come to your crib in an Uber?
In an Uber. I guess I'm supposed to let them take one of my cars and go back home.
That's what they want. They're trying to get in one of them cars, trying to get to your crib.
The devil is a liar.
They're trying to get to your crib.
The devil is a liar.
They know you got a little money. They trying to get over there. They want to drive one of them cars. They want floss. You know how people do. And it's them little old church, or little nasty little church niggas who wanna just come over.
You know you
Listen, are they some of them? They friends of the bishop? They knew the bishop?
Oh no, none of them.
Oh, okay.
They not friends.
They
know of him.
Okay.
They don't know him, but they know of him.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you was his queen, and we men, we need women like you. Really? You need women like me? Well, what's the issue that you can't get women like me?
Wow. Need women like you, but can't get women like you.
So evidently you don't have nothing to offer.
They trying to catch Ubers to the crib.
They trying to catch Ubers to the crib.
They got an Uber ministry.
Uber ministry. Well, I ain't into the Uber ministry.
You ain't into the Uber ministry?
I ain't into the Uber ministry.
You ain't into the Lyft ministry?
No Lyft, no. None of them either.
The black and white cab?
The black and white cab, no.
The yellow cab?
No.
The green cab? And ain't nobody gonna sing you no bus ticket now either. You ain't getting on no Greyhound.
I ain't getting on no Greyhound. I don't have no need to get on Greyhound.
Oh, Lord. Listen.
Number one, if you can't gas that Rose up to get me there and back, number one, I'm probably not coming. Number two, if you can't buy me a first class airline ticket, I almost know I ain't coming.
Because you got standards.
Because I got all my husband's frequent flyer. They gave it to me.
Oh, wow.
Oh, so I don't have to buy no airline ticket.
Look at that.
But at least you ought to be able to pay for one if you want me to come that way.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know, you gotta help out. You gotta help out the people. They saying preach, Mom. They're like, they can't believe that the Uber ministry see, that's why people gotta be careful, don't y'all? See, that's why they go on after dark, a little too fast. They see the commercials running like, oh, it's over. You know how people do when they start walking out at the critics of the movie, when the critics start scrolling. Y'all, they done missed the best part. Y'all better tell them to come back, because they missed the best part.
Don't you want me to come see you? For what?
They want to know if you.
Me.
So like, doing you a favor.
You ain't no reason to stop me now. I can stop you if I want to, though. Number one, what have you got to offer me?
Ah, Lord. They saying preach, Mother.
I think you got about as much coming in as I do. I get one check a month myself.
Wow.
That's all you got, right?
Mother, you ain't having it.
Ain't having it.
And
y'all need to stop having it.
Would you tell them again?
Y'all need to stop having it.
Because
you making yourself too easy for a man to get you. That's right, preachers. Wave your hand.
I told y'all. Y'all didn't believe me. I told y'all it was going to get real.
It ain't happening.
You just didn't know it was going to be after the commercials. Mm-hmm. See, I tricked you. Y'all went off. Y'all didn't even realize that something better was getting ready to come. The mother is unleashed in the house tonight. Tell all them Uber men. I told you it was going to get real. Mother, the Uber guy.
Mm-hmm. I haven't heard no more from him.
He want to get the Uber. Now, your husband's been gone a little over 3 months. At the time, it was 2. And he liked what you said at the funeral, that, you was his queen. And the brother wanted to come to your house in the Uber. And you said, it ain't gonna happen. He ain't coming to your house. You got 4 cars in the driveway, in the garage, and he ain't coming to your house, period. The audacity of people. Some of the people who were probably friends of the two of you, or so-called friends of the two of you, how have you been faring with all of this new attention you've been getting, especially from the little nasty people, the little nasty preachers? How you been faring with all that?
I let it blow by like the wind.
Wow.
Because a lot of them, like you said, they on the, you want me to be raw?
Can y'all handle Mother being raw tonight? This is the After Dark show.
Oh, it is. That is right. So hopefully all the kids in bed. But
the kids, put them to bed if they're not. Mother is about to be Ellen Marie.
Yeah. As my girl Tina would call me Maybelle, because Maybelle and Ellen is 2 different people. Maybelle and Ellen 2 different people. They on a sex trip, and it ain't happening here either.
Right. So even at that age, and those who have it's almost as if they have no regard of who you are as a person. It's just, what can I get?
Right.
And not what I can give.
Mm-hmm. What can I get from her? What I know she, got it together. She pretty well set up. Let me see what I can find out.
Right. Have you had that from people in general, before his death, after his death, where people were just around you to see what they could get from you and from him? We talked about it a little last time when we were on, and we didn't really get into it, but what I discovered while we were together is that there was a lot of disappointing moments in y'all's life. A lot of people who were just not real good to the two of you, and you had to kind of weed through all that. You had to be the person that said, Rance, look, they ain't for us, that they're not really in our corner, they don't have our best interests. What was it like with you having discernment? And those of you who have questions, put them on the screen for Mother. We're going to answer every question you have tonight. No matter what it is, you're going to answer it. Is that correct? If she can, she'll be able to answer. Some things she's not going to be able to answer, like, is there a movie coming out? Is there a new project coming out? There's something she can't talk about at this point. I know the answer to that, but y'all have to wait till my next interview when it's time for us to release if any of those things are going to happen. How was it for you when you had to deal with the disappointment of people? And how have you had to handle that over the last several years, especially the years of his success?
It was pretty easy for me. It was hard on him because he was such a loyal person, and he had he just always expected that people would be toward him like he was toward them. And I said, everybody's not like you. What they say, it still doesn't matter. Your deliverance might be a little bit different deliverance than the other people. Some things people haven't got delivered from.
Right.
So he would always be hurt by how he was treated. A lot of people in the music business.
That hurt him.
It hurt him. A lot of them around here.
That hurt him.
That weren't loyal. But he still was loyal.
Right here in our city.
Right in our city.
How does it make you feel? Especially when some of his hurt he took to the grave, and some of the residue of the hurt still lingers on you.
It still lingers on me, but I knew, and I shared with him before he left here. Like you said, they didn't mean him any good. And now they've shown it. It's like I said, since he's been gone, some of them I don't even hear from him.
Don't call.
Don't call, don't come by, don't nothing.
What is it like on a day-to-day basis to be Ellen Allen? How would you describe your life? We see mother, and not everybody knows you. They think they do, but not everyone knows you. They see the evangelist, they see the bishop's wife, and of course we're praying for the Church of God in Christ tonight, who seems to be at an arbitrage. We're praying for the 4 candidates. We're praying for the current presiding bishop of the Church of God in Christ, which is just a wonderful institution I mean, the Church of God in Christ gives the Christians, or the black church, so many of our roots. So much of the music history comes out of that church, and the preaching fervor and the anointing. So we're praying tonight for the Church of God in Christ, which your husband loved. He loved the Church of God in Christ. But they see you as the evangelist. But what is it like being you? What was a day like in the life of Ellen and Rance?
What was the day like? Peaceful, loving. I mean, always, good morning, baby, good morning, you know. Very easy. He was very easygoing. If I got up and fixed him breakfast, he wasn't picky. If I felt like cooking, whatever I cooked, he would eat.
Some people are not morning people, and you got to take them a little time to get warmed up. They got to have coffee, or some of them a cigarette.
No,
you can't speak to him.
He
before
wasn't a coffee drinker, never a smoker. When he woke up, it was, you know, you could hear him, Lord, I thank you. Before he would pull out of the driveway at home, Lord, watch over my house, watch over my family, take care of my pets and my animals, keep my house. Walking praying man, you know. Nothing to hear him say, oh, Jesus. You know, just got a praying spirit. You know, like I said, I'm not saying that he was a perfect man, but he was an easy man to love.
Some people, preachers especially, are saved only in the public. They have this persona about them that it's for them. They put on character almost. And to my own chagrin, I know there was a time in my life that's who I was, where I've always been gifted, always had a gift, haven't always been anointed, I don't think, because there was always this I don't care attitude, especially as it relates to God. Bishop Stephen Thompson said to me just this weekend, he said, you know you are saved when wrong that irritates God begins to irritate you.
Ooh. That's true.
To me, it seems like the bishop was just not this public guy, this character that he put on when he went outside, but he was really saved. He walked it.
He did.
He lived it before you.
He lived it. And I'm so pleased that even in his death, no scandals, no behind the door scandals, no
nothing you had to go clean up.
No, nothing I had to clean up, nothing I had to hear that I didn't know anything about. I mean, he really lived it to the best that I felt like he.
Your best friend, would you say?
Was he my best friend? Yes, I'd say so, because there were things that I shared with him that I never heard again. And that's who a best friend is, somebody you can talk to,
that's
tell them your
what
secrets,
a best friend is.
and never hear again.
A best friend no matter how angry, disappointed, or disconnected, will never divulge information about you.
And I've had people in our congregation and those that are not in our congregation say, I miss Bishop because he was somebody that I came to and told some deeper secrets and I never heard him again.
Well, he was that to me. And again, a lot of people don't know our relationship because, over the years, he was busy, I was busy. And my travel, we would be back and forth and in and out. And when he was in town, I was out. And when I was out, he was in. That kind of thing. Almost like Thomas. It's the same thing. He's in and out and the same kind of deal. But always just a nice guy.
And that's really the way he was.
Yeah.
Someone
on live tonight who's watching the broadcast wants to know how are you handling those lonely let me see the question, those lonely moments, and how are you handling the separation?
It's really been easy for me to a certain degree handling the separation because the majority of those 49 years my husband spent a lot of time on the road, and oftentimes I would never see him. He would leave maybe on a Tuesday morning and I wouldn't see him again till sometime Saturday evening or either early Sunday morning. I'd see him when they're bringing him into church on Sunday morning because I will have beat him to church and they're picking him up from Metro Airport at 9:30. So by the time he gets to Toledo, it's 10:30, almost 11 o'clock. So I wouldn't get a chance to even say anything to him until
after church.
Till after church, right. So so that part of him being gone is pretty much the same. I was telling somebody that my weekdays are good. It's just the weekend.
Because that's when he was home.
That's when he was home, yeah.
Wow.
So.
Have you had any moments of, I know you and I talked, and I know I can share this a little bit without going too far with some of our personal conversations. And we were talking about the house, which is a beautiful home, by the way. Love your home. And you were talking about, it's too big for me. It's just me, and the kids don't come but once a year or twice a year, and it's just me and all this house. And I was like, no, don't get rid of it, And maybe I was being selfish because I didn't want you to get rid of it because it's a wonderful house. Are there moments when you walk into that home that you just feel his presence?
Often. I'll be in the bed at night and it feels like somebody's moving in the bed, and I'll look over and it just, it seems like he should be there. Or I was on a prayer line one night and I never noticed this because the chair that I sit in, his picture is like right over my right.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
And so
you're talking about in your den area.
Yeah. And so one of the ladies on the prayer line said, it looks like Bishop is looking over you.
Yeah.
And I never even thought about it. And she snapped it and she sent it to me and I said, wow. I had to look back myself and say, wow, that's just what it appears like, he's watching over me. And so, yes, there are times when I walk in the house and it seems like he should be there or I should hear him say something,
right.
But I'm not, I often say, when people say, how you doing? I said, what do they want me to say? What do they really want you to say?
What is the response for, and we're going to go to a break in a moment. When we come back, I want to ask you the feeling when we come back, when you got that call about your husband. And then I want to dig a little bit more into you and talk a little bit about, I want the world to know you. We know the legacy that's been left behind by your husband. I want to know you. When we come back, we're going to talk about what that moment was like when she got that call about her husband. It's Dr. Bree. You're watching the After Dark Show with my guest, Mother Ellen Marie Allen, the widow of the legend Bishop Rance Lee Allen. We'll be right back in a few moments.
You're watching After Dark with Dr. Bree.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot I can tell, boy. It's something.
All right, everybody. We are back with Mother Ellen Marie Allen. We're having a ball talking to her. As you can hear the song in the background, Holy One.
Holy One.
That is one of my favorites,
Mm-hmm.
and one of your favorites too. It is indeed a void that we have now in the earth realm with Bishop Rance Lee Allen. I never forget how broken Kurt Franklin was when he found out that the bishop had passed away.
We done lost Rance Allen.
He was broken up. Mother, tell us about that call that you got on the day that your husband was coming home. He was ready to come back home because he said he wasn't going to go. He wasn't going to go. He didn't want no hospital bed. He was going to sleep in his own bed. It wasn't going to be no hospital bed in the living room and people come watching him on display. No, he was going to sleep in his own bed. He paid too much money for his bed. I think those were his words.
Those were his exact words.
Exactly. Paid too much money for his bed. What was that morning like when you got that call?
Now, are you talking about the morning that they said he was coming home, or or when he passed?
The morning that he passed.
Okay, that was like 1 or 2. We were talking about 2 o'clock in the morning. He had woke up, and I guess for some reason he wanted to talk to me, which he normally doesn't do. Even in the hospital, he wouldn't call me, and I thought it was really kind of strange that I would get a call from the center that time of morning. Well, he was just so excited, and he was telling me about his day and how he was increasing his steps, because prior to his passing he had had a back surgery, And so they weren't allowing him to walk or do things by himself. And so while we were talking, he called for the nurse to come to help him, to go to the restroom and stuff. And so when she came, he handed her the phone, and she was saying, "Oh, I'm so glad to talk to you, and your husband is telling me he's going home Tuesday. He's increasing his steps, and he's doing good, and the doctor's going to let him go home, and he's excited about going home." And I said, "Oh, he told you that?" And she said, "Oh, yeah, and he's just so excited, and he's been doing so good." And then all of a sudden, there was a noise, and she said, "Oh, Mrs. Allen, I got to call you back. Your husband is coded." And all I could hear was her, you know how they press the button.
So this happened while you were on the phone?
While I was on the phone. And then she hung the phone up and said, "I'll call you back." She said, "I got to call you back." And she hung the phone up.
So you never got a chance to talk to him?
Not again.
So he wanted to call you.
He wanted to
something
call me.
He just wanted to talk to you.
He wanted to talk to me.
She talked.
And then when she came in to help him go to the restroom, she took the phone from him. And then
So you did talk to him?
I did talk to him, right.
And she took the phone?
And she took the phone. He handed her the phone. He said, "It's my wife." He said, "Talk to her for a few minutes, And I heard her say, "Oh, excuse me, let me give you your privacy." So evidently she turned away from him. And when she turned away from him, I think that's when the Lord came and snatched him up. And she said, "Oh, he's coded." And she said, "I'll call you back." And she just hung the phone up. And I could hear the button or whatever they push, and it said something about code something. And I just said, "Oh, Lord, no."
Jesus.
I said, no. That's all I could
like
say
that.
was, "Lord, no, 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 no." And I just had to sit there. And
How
wait
long before they called you back?
A half an hour. Half an hour to 45 minutes.
And said he was gone.
And he was gone. She said, "I hate to." She said, "Mrs. Allen, this is from the center, and I just want you to know Rance didn't make it."
Jesus. At that moment, Ellen, the wife, is feeling what?
Empty. Because my life partner's gone.
Wow.
Somebody I had been with since I was 16.
Snatched away
He'd
from
taken
you.
care of me. He loved me, provided for me. There wasn't anything that I wanted he didn't want me to have. And I felt the same way about him. If there was something he wanted, and because I made sure to take care of the finances, I'd make sure that he got what he wanted.
Are you okay? Can we move forward?
Yeah, I'm okay.
I know that was just a rough moment. Can't describe that. What was the first thing you did at that moment after you realized they're handing you some tissue there?
Oh, I'm good, baby.
And she's so gracious, y'all. She's so gracious. But don't take that graciousness for weakness.
Would you say that what was the first thing I
What was
did?
the first thing you did at that moment? Did you get dressed and go there? Did you?
No. I couldn't. No. It took a while. I had to call the funeral home and make plans for them to pick the body up. And I told the guy, "Call me when you get there, when he's in your possession, And when you get back to the funeral home, I want to know. And then I called Mr. Day. I said, before you touch him, I want to see him. I want to see him before you do anything. I said, is that possible? He said, yes, ma'am. So when they got him there and got him situated, he said, you can come. And I went. And what I wanted to see, I saw. And that was the countenance on his face. And when I looked into his face, I looked at his face. They never did anything to him. He had a smile. The same smile he had if you saw him in the casket. He had that smile. And I said, okay, I'm good. He said, that's all you wanted to see? I said, sure. That's all I wanted to see. I wanted to see that there was no pain, like somebody had done something, like there was a struggle.
He hadn't been mistreated or
He hadn't been mistreated.
The morning we talked, which was that morning, I asked you, because I knew I could ask you, because we've been
friends for 27 years.
27 years. I knew I could ask you anything at that moment, and you would tell me. As a matter of fact, I'm privileged that of all the calls you were getting, you took mine. I said, Ellen, what happened? And your response was,
The Lord
took him.
The Lord took him. Once I saw the countenance on his face, I knew God had come and got him. And I was okay with it. I mean, it took me I had to breathe through it like I do now, because I miss him. But I'm okay with that, because number one, he was in God when I met him. Meaning he was already preaching, he was already singing. And I feel like God orchestrated our marriage, our union, and allowed me the privilege, the pleasure of being married to one of his servants. He didn't have to choose me. God didn't have to choose me for him, but he did.
So you felt like you were chosen to be.
I was chosen
to be his wife.
To be his wife.
No matter what,
I was chosen to be his wife. I know I was. I know I was.
No one could sway you from that.
No.
Nothing could sway you from that.
As many trips as he made across the country, people used to say, you trust your husband? Absolutely. And don't bring me that garbage.
Could nobody say anything to you about your husband?
No. I know my husband wasn't no whore. He wasn't no whoremonger. I told a woman yesterday, if you do what you're supposed to do by your husband, you won't never have to worry about him cheating on you.
And I think that needs to be in the women's master class with Mother Ellen Marie.
Do it need to be in the master class?
I think you need to tell
Well,
women,
Mother Ellen don't mind telling it.
because you can tell them what to do to keep him home.
Yeah.
And what to do.
Yeah.
Mother,
I never worried about him being a...
Prior to that, y'all had a emergency room experience.
Right.
And he was talking to someone in the room where you were, and you didn't see the person he was talking to.
I didn't.
What was the conversation?
I was sitting. It was as if he was laying like where you were, and I was sitting here, and his eye attention kept going to the corner. And so what I did, you know how you see somebody keeps...
You start looking.
You start looking, trying to see what they're looking at. And he did like this and said, you better go on. And I said, who are you talking to? And he said, him. I said, him? He said, yeah, I know. You think I'm crazy. I ain't crazy. I said, I know you don't see him, but I do. Telling me to come somewhere. I ain't going nowhere with you. And I realized at that point, it was the death angel that was coming to get him. And he wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready to go.
He wasn't ready to go.
So you know without a shadow of a doubt, and we're going to take a break in a moment, we're going to come back and have some fun. You know without a shadow of a doubt, he was ready.
He was ready. Prior to that, he started talking about his mother and his grandmother. And he knew his grandmother, he called her sis. He said, I know mom and sis gonna be proud of me. They already told me. And I was like, what? Why do you keep talking like that?
Right.
He said, because they told me, sis told me. That she's proud of the man that I've become. I said, I wish you stopped talking like that. Because I knew then, when you start talking and seeing and holding conversations, you know. And now that was prior to seeing the death angel in the emergency room. And I said, uh-oh. I just knew. I started.
So that time you knew we getting close.
Yeah,
I started.
I said, this is not starting to feel too good. But, you know. But he lived his life to do this, you know. I went back shortly after his passing and pulled up about 4 or 5 songs from maybe 68 to now that he did on heaven. Going to heaven, being with heaven, the kind of place heaven was. I mean, just different songs that he wrote that talked about heaven. And that's the place he wanted to be.
The one song that we remember so vivid, the world remembers about him, and we're going to take a break in a moment and come back.
That'll Be Good Enough for Me?
That song, That'll Be Good Enough for Me, and I Stood on the Banks.
Stood on the banks of Jordan.
That's the song he played, or he sang
at the White House.
For the president.
Right, for Barack Obama.
To see the
at
ships.
the White House.
And he said in that song, one day, I'm going to get on that ship. And I'm going to sail on. When we go to this break, we're going to play that song while we're on the break. They're going to go to a commercial, and when we come back, we'll let a little bit of that song play in the background. But I want to talk about what's next for you, what's happening at New Bethel, and what are you doing? I want you all to make sure tonight, listen to me, put the camera right on me, not on Mother, but on me. I want you all to sow into her life tonight, into her ministry. We're not telling you what to do, but I need every one of you tonight to sow, especially women who expect something great out of life. I want you to sow into greatness. You can never be that which you don't sow into. Whatever you want, the grace and the tenacity that's on her life, I want you to sow into it tonight and watch how God replenishes you. Her Cash App is on the screen. Every dime goes directly to her, and I want her to be blessed in this season of her life. You're watching After Dark Show. I'm with Mother Ellen Marie Allen. Share this broadcast. Get everybody on for the last 8 or 9 minutes. You will not be disappointed. We'll be right back. If you're tired of church as usual and you're looking for something invigorating, exciting with passion, then the Greater New Psalmist Baptist Church, 3251 Glendale, is the place for you. We are a people that's determined to occupy all streets while cultivating cultural change. The only thing's missing is you. Meet us at 3251 Glendale Avenue as we continue to be relevant and occupy all streets while cultivating cultural change.
You're watching After Dark with Dr. Bree.
This song is a song that brings back a lot of memories to you, huh?
Uh-huh.
He sang this at the White House.
At the White House, right.
Y'all remember this song?
Did I talk about the tribute album that John P. Key's doing?
We'll talk about it.
Huh?
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
We're back. Hey, everybody, listen, we're back. And we're listening to Bishop Rance Lee Allen. I stood on the banks of the Jordan to see the ships go sailing. One of the songs that we heard Bishop sing at the White House for President Barack Obama and Lady Michelle Obama. Mother, while we were on commercial break, and if you have questions, I want you all to just lift them tonight. I know you're making a lot of comments. I'm sure you're sharing this, but if you have questions for Mother, this is the time to get them. Also, please know that this is an exclusive show for Breon Hall Ministries, and all rights are reserved for Breon Hall Ministries and Ellen Marie Allen. So we own the rights to this show. Please know that. And if you are watching and are trying to share this to any other means, that you could be held accountable by Mother Ellen Marie Allen and or myself. This is exclusively for us. You're pulling out of your driveway and your phone rings. What does it say?
I was pulling out of my driveway. I'm only maybe about one and maybe a half a house block from the house, from the corner. And my phone rings and it's down in my purse. Normally it's not. I usually put it right on my dash. And I looked down at the phone and it said, FaceTime Rance Allen. And I said, and then I looked back at my house.
Jesus.
I said, did I leave somebody in my house? And the Holy Ghost spoke to me and said, no, it's a FaceTime call. So I picked the phone up and I hit it and it went blank. And I said, what are you trying to show me? No, what are you trying to tell me? And the Holy Ghost said, no, what is he trying to show you? He's trying to show you something. And I said, what are you trying to show me? Like that. And it kind of puzzled me. So I sat there and I was boo-hooing and crying. For one, because I missed the call. It was like, you know how you hit the call and the person's gone, you missed the call? Mm-hmm. So I felt like I missed the call. And so I called my god sister and Evangelist Judy Hines, and I said, sis, have you ever had any experiences with or things that happen to you after somebody's gone? And she said, yeah, all the time. She said, what happened, sis? And I said, I was just pulling out of the driveway and my cell phone rang and it said FaceTime call Rance Allen. And I went to answer the phone and it went blank. She said, what does he usually call you FaceTime? I said, no, not unless he has something he wants to show me. Like he was out of town, he wants to show me something, he'll call me FaceTime. Otherwise, he'll just call me regular. She said, well, evidently he has something to show you.
Wow.
And I said, what would he want to show me? She said, well, what was different about the call? I said, well, normally, all the time that he's traveled, I would always say, call me when you make it to your destination.
How long is this after he has gone?
This was January the 11th.
And he passed away
October 31st.
All right. This is what's going to make y'all stop in your tracks. Only on the Breon Hall After Dark show. This was going to make you stop in your tracks. Because y'all ain't really got it yet. October he passed. The call
Came in January.
January. When did you have the phone cut off?
The phone was cut off in December.
Wait. The phone is cut off in December. You get a FaceTime in January.
In January, from
And
Rance
the
Allen.
phone has been off for a month.
Almost a month. I know it's been off at least 2 weeks. Because one of the elders has the phone, has possession of the phone. And I told him, take Bishop's phone, take all of his contacts, all of the bishop's names and all of that off of it. And then once you clean it, then you give it back to me after everything is off of it. So not only was it cut off,
It was cleared out.
it was cleared out. So I called him too and asked him, where was the phone? He said, Mother, he calls me Mother. He said, Mother, I believe it's back there in the drawer. He said, yeah, I know it's back there in the drawer because you told me to keep it, clean it off, and get all the bishop's names and stuff off of it. Matter of fact, he still has the phone. He's never given it back to me yet. So the phone rings, and so Judy said, well, what was different about the call? I said, because I've always told him, all the years we've been married, call me when you make it to your destination. And he never would. I would say, why don't you call me? I said, even when the plane lands, just pick your phone up and call me and say, we landed. No, I got to wait till 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, and then he's going to have either Elder Freeman call me or Marcus Witherspoon, who traveled with him a lot. They would even say, did you call Mother? Did you call Mother Allen? And he would tell them, no, you go and just call her, let me holler at her. You call her and let me holler at her.
Right.
So my sister said to me, well, that's the difference. He made it to his destination, but he didn't have Elder Freeman or Marcus to call you. He had to do it himself. She said, so evidently he wanted to show you heaven, that he made it. He made it to his destination. Did you hear me what I said? He made it to his destination. He didn't have nobody to call you, but he wanted you to see it, that he made it.
He wanted you to see.
He wanted me to see that he made it to heaven. But because I was not in that realm of the spirit, I could not see it. So people want to know today why I am like I am. Because my husband let me know he made it to his destination.
Wow. The reunion album, talk to me about that.
Well, it's actually a tribute.
A tribute album, yes.
Yeah, it's a tribute to him. Pastor John B.Q., who's one of my spiritual sons, has set out to do a tribute album in his honor. And he's had people come from all over to
Be a part
sing.
of this.
And all the, if you notice all the years that Rance lived, you could barely ever hear anybody try to do his songs.
Right. Right.
And not everybody wants to do it gladly.
Gladly do it.
They're not charging to do it. Nothing.
What's next for you?
I have no idea what God wants me to do. I know one of my callings is to teach. That's the major one. Another thing is I've noticed that God has me preparing women to be preachers' wives. If ever I get introduced to a woman and she attaches herself to me, the first thing I think of is she must be going to be a minister's wife. Because the majority of them will say, I want you to train me. I want you to teach me how to do certain things. And so that's another part.
Is it a special gifting and anointing
and a calling
to be
a preacher's wife? Yes, absolutely it is. And everybody cannot do it.
It ain't for the faint at heart.
No. Everybody cannot do it.
You got to deal with a whole lot of stuff. You got to deal with people.
You got to be able to deal with a lot of stuff, deal with people, and maintain your cool. You got to be secure in who you are. You got to have trust in your man. your husband, your pastor, your lover, your friend.
Have there been ministries destroyed because pastors
Had the
just
wrong
didn't
wife.
have the right wife?
Absolutely. And she didn't know how to handle it.
And she destroyed everything that was connected to him.
Because just because a woman is in your husband's face doesn't mean he wants them.
Now, that needs to be repeated.
I said just because women are in your husband's face does not mean that he wants them. They might want him, but it doesn't mean that he wants them. And you have got to be secure in who you are.
Somebody needs to raise an offering right there. Y'all just need to sow right into that. And no matter what he is, whether he be a pastor, especially pastors and bishops and those who have ministries, they have to be secure about who they are and what it is that they do, because you have to almost have this balancing act between Ellen and the bishop's wife and the first lady, because your first obligation was to him, not to that
To
church.
him, absolutely, absolutely, it was to him. One of my members, we went out to eat yesterday, and she, one of my good pastor friends, well, she's a pastor, but she has a husband who's a pastor, but she's a pastor. Came down to see me, and we all went out to eat. And one of my members was saying to her that you really got to get to know First Lady, and if you get to know her, you'll love her, because she seems to most people like she's mean. She's not mean. She's just stern about what she believes. And
You're old school as it relates to that.
Yeah. So she said, I remember one time I went to church on Wednesday night, and I said to Bishop, "Where's the First Lady? She should be here." He said, "No, I just got off the road." And I told the First Lady I wanted a home-cooked meal. So the First Lady is at home cooking me something to eat. So she had the nerve to say something to me when I came back around.
No, she did.
Yes, she did. I said, "Baby."
Did she meet
I said,
Maybelle,
"Baby,
or did she meet-
New Bethel is second place when it comes to Rance Allen. My first priority is to my husband. I would say family if I had children at home, babies that I was raising.
Right.
But my first priority
All the children
is to,
are grown and
yeah,
out
but
the
yeah.
house
My
with
first priority is to that man. And he'd been on the road, and he said he wanted him a home cooked meal.
That's what
He
you
didn't
get.
want me sitting down in New Bethel listening to him preach on a Wednesday night. He wanted to come home to some food. So that's my first priority.
What was his favorite meal?
Oh my God, pork chop, fried pork
I
chops,
knew it.
green peas. He didn't care about what starchy side. It could be mashed potatoes, whatever. But them pork chops,
And
Lord
them,
have mercy.
and them peas.
And them peas.
I wonder if that's where I got that from, because peas is my go-to. Love peas.
You love peas too?
Love them. And I remember us going to some little soul food shack in Detroit, and it's years ago, and he getting a pork chop and some peas. We went to a little spot that I went back to it with Bishop Murphy and Bishop Sharp in Detroit. It was a little shack in Detroit that your husband loved. I think it was called Connie's or Connie and something. It was a greasy spoon so much that we almost, and those of you who are watching, put on the screen if you know what we're talking about. It was called Connie's and something in Detroit. You leave out there with the smoke in your clothes because you sit there
they
close
steady
to the
frying up
kitchen.
that chicken
They
and
frying
pork.
up everything in there, and the grease was just burning and everything. What is next for New Bethel? I mean, people are wondering, is she going to pastor the church? What's going to happen? What's going on? Are you at any liberty to tell us what's happening with New Bethel?
I don't feel like pastoring is my call, although I think that because Bishop and I were called into the ministry together, I'm somewhat the pastor without being the pastor.
You're the overseer somewhat.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But I don't really feel like pastoring is my call. Now, when my husband was elevated to the office of bishop, he then started calling Elder Booker Dupree, who was his assistant pastor. And though he never officially made him pastor, he started calling him pastor and calling him my pastor.
Wow.
He started calling him my pastor.
He's such a Elder Booker Dupree has served your husband
for at least
35 years.
Mm-hmm.
That says something about a man who can be faithful over another man's vision and not so in a hurry to have his own. Because he
loved being in the second, what do you call it, second position?
Yeah, he's gifted, he's anointed, and could have been somewhere pastoring, but served your husband well.
Served him well. Absolutely. And he said to me, when I went to him, I said, now, I'm coming to you to ask you, is this a position that you want? Because I know they're going to come to me, ask me. They're going to ask me, who would I like? Or who do you feel? And I'm already going to tell them, you're the man that Bishop was already calling pastor. So if this is what you think you're ready for, or you want to do it, let me know so I'll know what to say.
And I think he'll do a phenomenal job because he walked with the bishop for over 30 plus years, and he knows the spirit of the house, and he's going to take care of you.
Right. And actually, the ministerial staff at the church, we have just been keeping things going just like Bishop was there, or like he was out of town. Connie
and Barbara Soul Food.
Connie and Barbara Soul Food.
Yeah, in Detroit. Connie and Barbara.
Yeah. We've been actually keeping it going. Like if Bishop wasn't there on Sunday, we would be in rotation. Who would preach the Sunday he wasn't there? And we would keep the rotation going. So, like if he was gone 2 Sundays in a row, well, if Elder Dupree preached, then I would preach, then the next person up, they would preach. And so we basically have been keeping it going just like that until the bishop comes in and sets precedents over what's going to happen with the church.
Anybody who gets your attention, we're ready to go off. If you don't mind me talking about this.
Go ahead.
Who gets your attention, got some big shoes to fill. And let me just put a disclaimer out. 1, you got to come through her bishop. 2, you can't come in an Uber. You cannot come in a doggone Uber. And we ain't paying for no Uber. Now, since we put that out there, what other kind of qualifications?
Say anything else you want to say.
Oh, I can say everything? You can't be broke. You can't be like Jaden. Little commercial, little boy says, Jaden has $1 bill, 1 quarter, and 2 pennies.
And then look at
How much money does Jaden have?
She said
Jaden broke. You can't be like Jaden. You can't be broke.
Ooh, Jesus.
And since I said that,
that's going to cut a whole lot of them.
well, the Uber going to wave out a whole lot
Well,
of
he
them.
already waved out.
But it's some more Uber guys out there.
Oh, is it?
There's some more Uber riders and Trailway bus riders and
Greyhound bus ride?
and Greyhound, yeah.
Oh, no.
Ain't Trailway no more. What is it, Greyhound?
Greyhound.
Okay. But they out there. The Uber guy. He want to put you in the Uber. Well, he want to come in the Uber. He want to come to you in the Uber.
Me taking back home.
Well, you got 4 automobiles.
It don't matter how many I got.
You can let him drive one.
It don't matter how many I got.
You wanna be like Dorothy. You know Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz.
You better get on his bike like
Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz. She met 3 brothers, Mother Allen. One didn't have a brain, the other didn't have a heart, the other didn't have courage. And she worked with all three of them. She was a bad sister now. So you ain't buying it.
I ain't feeling like working with nobody.
Your work days are over.
Not after 50 years, no. I don't know if I'll ever get married again.
Wow.
But if I do, if the Lord should bless me, I don't know. I don't really know. You said you got some heck of a shoes to fill.
Sure.
And you don't like the thought of comparing anybody to anybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I don't feel like I'll ever have another Rand Saller.
No.
There won't be one.
No.
You know.
So many
But-
will try.
But no, you need to come like you are and be real.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Don't try to woo me and act like you're somebody you're not, because it's going to show up eventually.
I'm going to put you on the spot. We do, on Sunday nights, we do something called When Women Pray and When Men Pray. And I want to ask you if you would be on the call for When Women Pray Sunday night, which is our group of women. They pray all around the country. I want you to be on that call and just speak specifically into their lives on Sunday night at 8 o'clock. Would you do that for us?
Is that single women, married women?
They're all kind.
Oh.
They all. Might be some on there who don't even know if they're a woman or not. They all.
Okay, all on there.
All of them. Jaden Brook.
Jaden Brook.
They all on there. And of course, she'll be preaching for us Mother's Day, second Sunday in May. She'll be right here in this pulpit preaching the gospel for us to the mothers and the women of this church. Second Sunday in May, right?
That's what you say.
I'm her bishop. I just told her she's going to be here second Sunday in May. Y'all look forward to that. Mother, give us some parting words, because the last time we were together, we so enjoyed this again, and we feel like we're getting to know you even more. Tell them who Ellen is, and tell them, some of the things that you were saying, that all the people who, and I kind of got in trouble with this because you gave me some fuel. And I was I was on your high, and because you said, if you can't listen to what I say and do what I say, don't call me mother, don't call me mama, call me, you ain't gotta call me first lady, call me Ellen. And I said that to some people. I said, if you can't, don't call me dad and papa and all that kind of stuff, you can't listen to what I say. I want you to speak to that tonight, and speak to disloyal people and tell them how they gotta become what they need to be, and give us some parting words tonight.
My. Isn't that something?
Take your time, make it good. It's my show. Say what you want to say.
Be loyal. Be loyal. Be loyal. Be loyal to God. Be loyal to the man or woman of God that you serve. Be loyal to your husband. Be loyal to your wife. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. A lot of times we like to quote those scriptures, but we don't want to do them. If you want a husband, do what it takes to get one. Every man don't want another man seeing what he thinks should be his exclusively. Women, cover yourself up. Everybody doesn't need to see your private parts. Leave something to the man's expectation. Men, likewise. Your clothes don't need to be so tight until we don't even have to think about
Come here.
what you have, because we can see the outline. Y'all asked for this, right?
We asked for it, Mother.
We asked.
Go,
You
please,
asked for
you
it.
go for it. It's my show. It's after dark.
Yeah.
Say what you want.
Cover yourself up. Be clean. No perfume without a bath. Wash yourself. Make you clean. You know what you smell like. You smell yourself before anybody else does. And I'm not telling you something to do, telling you to do something that I don't do. We thank God for Dr. Bree and his show. God is good, and he'll be good to you if you treat others the way you want to be treated. If you want respect, give respect.
Wow.
And like I said, Bishop Hall, don't call me mother. I had a lady call me from North Carolina and said she wanted me, or South Carolina, maybe it was South Carolina, wanted me to be her spiritual mother. I said, you sure about that? She said, I love the way you're so forward and you just speak the truth. I said, you like that because it's going to somebody else, but will you feel the same way when it's coming to you? I said, now you can ask any of them that call me mother how I am. I don't cut no corners with them. Didn't nobody cut them with me. It's like you said, old time teaching. That's what I was brought up with.
Right.
And it's what's kept me going. Sugarcoating nothing. I don't do that. Covering up stuff and making it sweet to people when they don't need it sweet
They need it
won't
like
help
this.
them to grow. And that ain't got nothing to do with the denomination of the church you go to. The truth is just the truth. And everybody under the sound of my voice ought to speak the truth. And especially if you're grown, don't lie. Why are you lying? And you're grown. Tell the truth. Let people know how you feel. They'll love you better than perpetrating the fraud.
Wow.
So I'm glad to be with you tonight. Hopefully this won't be the last show, because I definitely had a lot more I could tell. We didn't even answer all the questions that we had come through tonight. But God is good. And for those of you that's looking for something, or looking for me to say something bad about Bishop Allen, there's nothing that I have bad to say. I don't have anything bad to say. You that are looking for, I don't know what you're looking for. I know she holding something back. She ain't telling it all. I've told as much as you've asked me. I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to hide. The Lord gave me a jewel of a man. And I thank God for every moment that I had with him. And the life he lived is what's keeping me going right now. Because I know that he's at the place, he made it to the place that he wanted to be. He made it to his destination. And Bishop, if we live right, we're going to make it to our destination.
Right. Does your heart bleed for this church that we see now?
Absolutely. My heart bleeds for them because what they're doing, they're not going to make it. They're not going to make it to heaven on what they want to accept, on what they want to accept, not what it takes. The old saints used to say, if you can take it, you can make it.
Right.
But these don't want to take nothing.
They want the easy way out.
They want the easy way out.
So much is going on now with the Grand Old Church of God in Christ. and we've never seen it at this place. What would be your word to your Kojic brothers and sisters tonight?
Follow peace with all men and holiness without which no man shall see the Lord.
Wow. You've heard it. Y'all, there's never enough time when we bring her on this show. So I told some people a few weeks ago on one of my shows, we got to make this the Dr. Bree Mother Ellen show, and just make this a show. We so enjoyed you tonight. We thank you for letting us in little by little. We're pulling it back a little. You know, it's like peeling an onion. We're peeling it back a little at a time each time we have you. We're looking forward to having you in May to preach for us. And again, if you're watching, if you stayed on, I want you to sow tonight. I want you to sow into Mother Ellen Allen's life. That seed will never return back to you void. And it'll leave your hand, but it'll never leave your life. I want you to bless her. She's good ground. She didn't ask for this. I asked her to let us do this. So I want you to help us bless her. And when we do, the blessings of the Lord will overwhelm you. I thank you for watching. I thank you for hanging out. Make sure you're sharing this. And she'll be on the prayer call on Sunday night, sharing with those women who will be on that. Make sure you come on that prayer call on Sunday night at 8 p.m. when women pray. She won't be long. And she'll be back with us soon on this show, but she'll be back preaching to us in May, and I cannot wait to have you. I'm excited about what's next for you. I'm excited about the book. I'm excited about all the stuff that's getting ready to happen, the possible or the possibilities of movies and all that kind of stuff.
Are you feeling prophetic tonight?
I am.
Why don't you just prophesy? I just saw something on you just now.
I'm feeling mighty prophetic tonight.
I felt like you were.
That there is writing in you, there's a book in you, there's a contract, there's a deal that someone's trying to work out. There's a network that's trying to figure out how to approach you. There's some people who are trying to write a treatment to write about the Rance Allen life or the Rance Allen story. Just get ready. Your future is far greater than it has ever been, and your future is much better than your now, and your now is phenomenal, but your future is going to be even greater. You have made it through, and you did it with such elegance and grace, having to face people that you knew didn't mean you or your husband any good. And they still around, flaunting and carrying themselves like they are your favorites, and we know better. And I thank you for not moving with a sense of chaos, but compassion. That's how you walk, and that's what continues to give you victory in the midst of all of the vicious people that have been around you. So I applaud you. Thank you for being in my life for 28 years. And thank you for all that you did for me when I was this young preacher. And you would call me and say, now look here, I need you to take care of this because you got too much on your life. And I thank you for trusting me even in this season of your life. And I believe that the greater is yet to come for you.
Thank you.
And we speak blessings over your life. Hey, everybody, listen, you've been watching the After Dark Show with Dr. Bree. I say this every single week. Socrates says an unexamined life is a life that's not worth living. If you want to live a better life, examine you, stop examining people around you, and examine who you are. And Winston Churchill says the best, you'll never get to your destiny if you stop and throw rocks at every dog that barks. Woo. Stop being disturbed by people who cause chaos and distraction in your life, and know that you're better than that. You're bigger than that. You're wiser. Have a good night, everybody.